Next, Mike Rubbo is he's a member of our Conservation Advisory Council, and he's going to be talking about landscaping with native plants.
Load it up. Just bear with me for 1 second.
I thought of more people I should thank while I'm thanking people, so while Mike's getting that put together. I also wanted to mention that two members of our town board are here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Athanas and Mr. Monks, for coming out tonight. And I also wanted to thank the media committee for televising this. They're all volunteers and do this just so that people who can't make it out to the town hall for whatever reason are still able to watch this at home on TV. So thank you.
Thanks, Emma.
Oh, and one more thing. This entire report is on the CAC's website. So if there's more you want to learn, go to the website, read it all. Go ahead.
Good. Are you sure that's it? Nothing else? Okay. Thanks everyone for coming out. As Emily mentioned, it's a great turnout, and I'm glad to see everyone here tonight. I'm going to be talking really briefly. I have, I think, 5 minutes or so to talk about landscaping with native plants. It's probably one of the easiest things you can do at home, and you can do it on any size acre lot to serve as a conservation measure. So first off, I guess, why would you want to landscape with native plants? Well, it's easy. It's something relatively simple to do. You're using plants that have always been found in the area. They're adapted to the climate of the area. They're not going to need extra water, excuse me. They're going to be used to the soil conditions. You're not going to have to amend the soil. So they're here, might as well make best use of them. It's also fun. I don't know about you guys, but it's not overly intensive, the amount of work required to landscape with native plants. They're not like rose bushes where you have to be out there all the time dealing with Japanese beetles or whatnot. It's relatively little work involved. Like I said, no fertilization really is necessary. You don't have to water them all the time. And there's a big reward. They grow just exponentially. It's amazing if you see some of these native plant gardens. And also, probably for me, one of the most important reasons is it helps wildlife. A lot of our native bees and butterflies and birds, etc., use the native plants either as a source of food. Butterflies will use a lot of native plants for their caterpillars to grow on. Birds will use native plants as a source of food as well. So I think it's incredibly important to use native plants for a variety of reasons. And I think it's relatively simple. Can you advance it? I just wanted to give you a couple quick examples of some of what I think are more the impressive native plants. This is a pink lady slipper. Has anyone here ever seen one of these? Quite a few of you had. Great. Have you seen them out in the wild or? Okay. Yeah, some of you have. They're a type of orchid. They're relatively rare in the region. You can landscape with these as well if you have a shady spot. They require specific soil conditions, so if you're interested in using these, read up on them a little bit. They also take quite a long time to flower. I bought a yellow lady slipper 3 or 4 years ago, and it has yet to flower. It comes up every year, but I haven't gotten the flower yet. It's very frustrating, but I've been told it takes about 5 years for a yellow lady slipper. I think pink may be different. I think there are 3. Do you know, Gretchen?
I don't know.
Okay, I think it may be around 3 years. So this is a pink lady slipper, and you see these little guys, these little pine trees around them? Have you guys seen these out in the woods at all? Yep, these are lycopodium or club moss, sometimes they're called. They're also becoming more rare in the region. I don't see them in the forest as much as I used to. Next slide now, please. Has anyone seen this guy? Yeah, Jack in the Pulpit. This is really common in the forest in the area. So this is the flowering structure, and this whole structure is Jack. This is the pulpit, and Jack is in here. And these grow really well in shade gardens as well. I have a couple of these in a garden at home, and they can get quite large in gardens. Next slide, please. Bloodroot. Has anyone seen bloodroot? This flowers in early spring and has a really beautiful flower. The name comes from if you break the root, it kind of has a red secretion from it. Next slide, please. Cactus. Do you know that we have native cacti in the area? Yep. There's the prickly pear cactus is native to the region. It's found, I think, mainly along the Hudson River. It's found in very exposed kind of rocky areas. But you can try these if you have the right conditions at your home. I bought a couple last year, and I planted them. I'm going to see if they survive the winter or not, so we'll see. They do? Great. And some of the more impressive native plants that are really well known for butterflies and bees, up here in the upper left, we have butterfly weed, which has these really brilliant orange-colored flowers. And it's used, monarch butterflies will lay their eggs on butterfly weed, and then once they hatch into the caterpillars will stay on the plants and eat the leaves until they can metamorphose into adult monarch butterflies. This is bee balm, another common species. Black-eyed Susans, which if you have these just explode when you plant them. You kind of have to keep on top of them or they take over. And coneflowers, there's a variety of different colors that you can get for coneflowers, and they're really quite beautiful. Next slide. So this is what a native plant garden could look like. I think they can look quite impressive, and they're relatively easy. They look beautiful at your home, and they're important for wildlife.
That's your house, right?
I wish it was my house. We're working on it, but it doesn't look like that, no. Next slide, please. So those are native plants. I just wanted to go through those really quickly. There's lots and lots. You can find all sorts of information on the internet or libraries on gardening with native plants. It's becoming more and more popular. I just wanted to hit on some of the non-native plants that are issues that are something to think about if you're landscaping. So I put up the please don't plant list. I try not to tell people what to do. So I'm asking if you're thinking about planting to try not to use these species. Barberry, have you all heard of barberry or seen it? Okay. It grows, you'll see it especially in their fields if you live near a field, but you can buy it for landscaping. Home Depot sells it. It has really pretty red fall colors. It has red berries, and the deer don't eat it. So that's a reason why a lot of people like to use it. Burning bush, probably a lot of people have heard of burning bush. It's another common plant that nurseries sell. I had a huge one at my house, and it was gorgeous. In the fall, just brilliant red colors, and that's why people like it. But unfortunately, they spread out to areas. They invade other areas. So in the woods behind my house, all little baby burning bushes were popping up from that one. So I had to, I got rid of it. Norway maple is another type of tree that a lot of people plant. That's not really, it tends to invade and kind of grow out of control. Calorie pear as well. In your handouts, we've got some information on some non-native plants and native alternatives that you can use instead of planting them. But a lot of nurseries nowadays stock native plants, so it's relatively easy to find them. They're becoming more and more common. So you shouldn't have any issues with that. And we've posted quite a bit of information on the CAC's website in regards to landscaping with native plants. Emily, there should be information in their folders with our website on it, right?
Yep, it's in the front.
It's in the front, and the card, yep. And here's the link as well.
And
so
some of it's not quite up yet, but
we're working on it. There's some, and like I said, if you go to do any sort of search on the internet on native plants, or if you go to your local library, there'll be lots of information. So it's, like I said, it's something really easy to do, and it can have a big impact on conservation. Thank you.